All right, what is going on? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I seriously appreciate you tuning in today. We are back here with my 2006 Nissan 350z Rev-Up, and honestly, I have not driven this thing, and actually, it's probably been about 2 weeks now, because I've been driving the HR pretty much every single day since we got it. I've been trying to figure out all the little problems that it has, so this thing kind of has been neglected a little bit, but I figured today would be the perfect day to go for a cruise. It's a little chilly out. There's kind of some wind, so hopefully the audio is not too bad, but this thing is just so cool. Seeing that HR every day, and then seeing this thing, it's just two completely different worlds. I love this car so much, and honestly, I feel like over the last 4 years since I've owned it, I've pretty much fixed all the little tiny things that bothered me with this car. It looks the part, it wasn't too expensive, and it's super fun to drive, so it kind of checks all the boxes, and it just makes me so excited to go out for a cruise. So let's go ahead and do that. We're probably just gonna head down this way, and then I figured we'd go and get the HR, and the second half of this video will be in that thing, and we'll kind of do a comparison. I'm gonna have a full like head-to-head video where we compare the two, but I do want to just cruise around in both of them, starting with this one and then moving to that one after, just so I can explain the main differences about how they feel when you're driving each one. They do feel a little bit different, and I'm gonna do my best to explain the differences that I've noticed over the last like month or two. So let's do it. All right, she's awake. It sounds good, honestly, with the muffler delete. The HR does have that exhaust kit on there, so it's quite a bit louder, but this thing is subtle. This thing is so smooth. I don't know if the HR is tuned, but it just seems like the 06, like the Rev-Up specifically, holds the RPM, like it has more like rev hang, so I feel like the transitions and the shifts are smoother. Let's go right. It just makes all the right noises. I don't know if you can hear, but my intake has like a little whistle to it. You hear that little whistle? I don't know if you can hear that. I gotta try and mic that up someday. All right, we got no one behind us, no one in front of us. Let's get down to like a 40 roll in second, just so we can, just to see what it's like, you know, just second gear pull. Right on the straight here. Oh, the aroma of oil. Sure smells good. Let's go left here. 70 degrees out right now. The Rev-Up gets down, man. I don't know. When I went and bought the HR from Georgie, he really tried to, he really was trying to explain how the HR is night and day different from the Rev-Up or like the DE. I mean, maybe like the stock DE, but honestly, the Rev-Up is fast. At least I think so. We'll go and get the HR here in a second. We'll do some pulls, but I really do feel like the Rev-Up puts up a good fight, so we'll have to just see. See, someone did some donuts right there. I've tried to do donuts in this thing before, and with the open differential, it never locks. Oh man, same person, donuts right there too. They probably went through a whole set of tires in one night. Speed limit 25 miles an hour when kids are present. I don't see any kids. Actually, my very first speeding ticket ever was literally right here. I made a U-turn right here. I had just dropped off my sister at this school. I had my brother, we were in my Dodge Nitro. It was like my first car I ever had. It's basically a toaster on wheels. And I flipped this corner, and I'm not gonna lie, I had my car in first, and then I put it into second and then drive. I don't know if you guys have ever done that, but you like pretend you have a manual, and you like start it in first and second and then drive. My excuse was I went to put the thing in drive to like go back to normal driving, and I pushed my water bottle forward instead of the gear selector. So the cop did not buy it on the spot, but I'm not gonna lie, my mom sent a nicely written letter saying that he got the wrong car, and they actually dismissed that ticket in court. And it was my first ever ticket, so I don't know if they're just being nice, but they actually dismissed it. Man, this road is so nice. Sometimes I wish that they could just close down the city. I mean, it would be so fun to just have all of these roads to yourself. All right, so we're headed back to the house right now. We're gonna go get the HR. We're gonna cruise around before it gets dark because the sun, it's not as low as I expected it to be, but the clouds came in. But like I said, we're gonna get the HR. We're gonna cruise around. We're gonna do a little comparison. Let's get one last pull of the Rev-Up before we switch to the HR, just because. We'll start it in first. Oh, that was rough. All right, in the HR, cold start, 07 HR. Let's get these windows down. Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That bird has had better days. That couldn't have been very fun. All right, back in the HR. All right, so in the HR 350Z, one thing I will admit, the clutch takes a little bit of getting used to. Definitely has a misfire. And it looks like we're low on gas right now, but we're actually not. It's just, that's another thing that's broken I need to get fixed. But we probably have over half of a tank right now, so at least that. But let's go this way. Listen to this backfire though. Oh. Oh God, there's people. People dressed nice. Oh, that's always funny. Yes, I'm in a very loud car and I have a camera on my face. And I mean, that must be a wedding or something. Oh, that was a good one. Let's roll onto it. Let's go this way. This thing's got the downshifts though. Sounds good. Oh man. This just sounds so cool. HR definitely makes a different sound than the regular DE or the Rev-Up. When it's around like 4,000. So one thing that I will confirm with the HR versus the Rev-Up is, I mean, it is true, in the higher RPM, this thing just feels like it's breathing better. The best way I can explain it is that the Rev-Up just feels tight. You know, when you let off the gas, it must just be the fact that this thing can breathe better with a second intake and a second throttle body, because I feel like the Rev-Up, you want to shift up just to like let the pressure out. I don't know how to explain it, but that's the only way I can figure out how to explain it. This car, you can get it to like, you know, like, I don't feel like I have to shift up even though it's at 4,500. Like the car rolls pretty well in gear, and I feel like that has something to do with maybe the exhaust and the intake system, because on the Rev-Up, when you let out on the gas, it has more of like an engine braking. You know, I'm pretty bad at explaining this, to be honest. Like no mechanical terms used whatsoever, but if you can catch my drift with what I'm trying to explain, it should make some sense. I'm glad there's no one in this turn lane. It was kind of like meant to be. I forgot I had this. We're gonna bless this guy's ears over here with the windows down. I think we blessed his ears. I mean, just listen to this thing. Just listen. I mean, the downshifts, dang. No, it's not a Ferrari. All right, let's go right. Downshift. Brakes. Oh, my phone. I mean, this This thing is fast in second gear. It pulls all the way to 7,500. Like, this is so cool. Should we go straight here or should we go left or right? Let's go straight. We'll gas it. Another thing about the HR that's different from the Rev-Up is that extra 500 RPM that we have in the HR. I feel like you can actually gun it in first and not feel like you're just out of RPM instantly. Like, even the Rev-Up, I mean, I've never driven the regular DE, and I can imagine first gear feels like it's gone very quickly, just because the way these cars rev up in first gear, it just seems like it's gone so quick. So most of the fun is in second, just because you can actually hang out in second for a little bit. Nights like tonight where you're just cruising around, we'll go left here. Should we gas it one more time? Aside from all the little problems and issues we've had, this thing is pretty fun. And I can only imagine that once I get it into a shop and we fix the little like running rich or running lean issue I feel like it has, this thing will be unstoppable. And it really makes me excited because I want to take this thing to track days and maybe some drift events. I bought this thing really to drive it. I love the Rev-Up. I don't know, I don't want to break the Rev-Up for some reason, partially just because the engine is really hard to find. So if we do blow the motor in that Rev-Up or something, for some reason the HR is pretty reasonably accessible, and the Rev-Up, because it's known for blowing up with the oil issues and stuff, they're hard to find in running condition. So, and if I want to put an HR in that, you need the wiring harness and everything. So it's nice that we have this thing to actually drive and use. The Rev-Up really is just going to be like a car show queen, maybe some long road trips and stuff. Of course, once the channel gets bigger and we have enough expendable income to, you know, drop on a motor, I mean, I will turbo that thing if we want. Like, that sounds fun. I have this crazy idea that no one has thought of yet, and I think it would be really cool. Like, I think even Jay Leno would be like, I need to drive that. Come on over to the garage and I'll let Jay Leno drive it. That would be like my dream, is to build a car that is so awesome that Jay Leno wants to drive it. And Doug DeMuro. Doug DeMuro as well. That's like 40% throttle. And those backfires, it makes it sound like a rocket ship. It's so cool. My GoPro just died. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed today's video. Drop a thumbs up if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you so much for tuning in. Look out for my next uploads with the Rev-Up and the 350Z.